that big time. We take some hits on that. You know, they mess up the payment systems. You pretty much have to go to email and send me your address, send me your snail, and resorting to those kinds of things, because if they can stop it or slow it down, they're going to, and that's what they're doing. This is an effective weapon against them. They know it. They're going to realize it more and more when they return to Earth through the alien invasion. Read Revelation 9, 1 through 12. Orgone is in a positive energy. It's a light source that combats evil. You think of it as a vacuum where it just sucks up negative and evil energy, and they can't stand to be around it. And that's the kind of canopy, the kind of energy that Orgone creates. And we're getting it all over the country. We're getting it all over the world. We don't know how much time we'll have. Eventually, Orgone will be outlawed, and people might want to sit and laugh, but it will be. You watch it. Mark my words. This stuff will be outlawed because it's so effective against their own little evil kingdom that right now they think they're only taking on a few people, but when they start seeing the real power of this stuff, and I've seen it in the Bible codes, they're really going to be shocked and amazed at the weapon that the Lord had given us and that we use effectively.
Sherry?
Yes.
You have a caller queued.
Yeah, sure. Bring. Who is it?
You have Irving from Vermont on the phone.
Okay.
You're up, caller.
All right, thank you. Sherry.
Hello, welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Okay, I've got wind of you through Zeph.
Okay.
And I've been listening to you. I've just started listening to your radio program. You've been out, I guess, for a couple of weeks now.
Yeah, well, I started like middle of August, I believe, yeah.
Okay, I would really like to hear you talk more about the Anunnaki, and incidentally, on Surfing the Apocalypse, they have a writer called in, or there's a link up to a movie that is being done by a Hollywood group, and the name of the movie is called One Anunnaki. I wanted to know if he was aware of that.
Yeah, I'm aware there's supposed to be some kind of release of a movie on November 1st.
Yeah.
I've never seen it on, I don't watch much TV, so I don't know if they're advertising it. I haven't seen it advertised anyway.
Oh, I have. I'm not quite sure of the, all I know is that if a listener, one of your listeners went to Surfing the Apocalypse and scroll down on their message board, they will see a link up to it. You talk about getting the population prepared for what's about to happen. I mean, the stuff about us going over into Iraq, first of all, was more than the fact of supposedly liberating the Iraqis from a guy who was practicing tyranny, such as Saddam Hussein. I believe that we went over there as we did, to go over there and raid all the library, the artifacts and stuff like that, to hush the whole situation up.
Oh yeah, and the whole thing with Eridu over there, where they wanted to get the last remaining Stargate underneath the desert.
Oh yeah.
And they've given the control of that to the British.
Oh, they have?
Yeah, the British are the ones that are guarding and protecting that whole site.
Wow. So I guess they have the best archaeologists, the best theologists, and whoever over there trying to figure this thing out.
Yeah, I mean, the whole world, everybody knows it was facade to begin with. He had plans to go in there before he was even elected.
Well, in relation to the Book of Enoch, aren't these the fallen angels that these people who are tinkering around with? These Anunnaki, aren't they the fallen angels?
I can't hear you. You want to repeat that?
Okay. These so-called aliens.
Okay.
Aren't they the fallen angels?
Oh, sure, definitely.
Yeah, I mean the ones that the Book of Enoch speaks about.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so what are they doing? Don't they know any better?
Well, Enoch brings about the one rebellion that the KJV kind of just puts both rebellions together. Okay, the KJV kind of talks about the Watchers, but then it talks about Lucifers, and everybody thinks it's just one rebellion together.
Yeah.
And Enoch separates it. Enoch will tell you about the Watchers' rebellion, and if you look within the first 10 chapters of Enoch, and if you've never read the Book of Enoch, folks, I have the whole book on my website at SherryShriner.com.
Yeah.
You can read it right online. And within the 10 chapters, he talks about the Watchers' rebellion, how 200 of them met on the mountain on the Syrian border. The Mount what is that?
Mount Haram.
Yeah, Hermel?
No, I think it's Mount Haram, I think.
Yeah.
It's the way they say it in Arabic.
Okay, well, us English people.
Or Mount Herman or whatever.
Yeah, Mount Herman.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, 200 of these Watcher generals with tens and tens of thousands of soldiers underneath them. This is like an angelic ranking system.
Yeah.
And they all agreed, 200 of them got together and agreed that they would come to Earth and cohabitate with human women.
Right.
And so we don't even know the exact number if all of their men followed them, if just the 200 went. But thousands, literally hundreds of thousands, could have followed them onto Earth and began this hybridization. And this was an angelic rebellion apart from Lucifer's rebellion. This happened many, many years after Lucifer's rebellion. It was not the same rebellion.
Okay.
And so what we have is thousands of years earlier, or even perhaps hundreds, we don't really know how many years earlier, but when Lucifer rebelled, him and his angels, part of their judgment was to lose their looks. And so they took on these grotesque, ugly forms, and that's what we see today, the lizards, the snakes, the reptilians. Reptilian race. Yeah, the chupacabras, whatever. Everybody's got different names for these things. There's 157 different types that I have just listed on my site. All these ugly different races of beings that were all a part of Lucifer's rebellion. But when the Watchers of Enoch rebelled, they weren't judged to lose their looks. They lost their power, they lost their status, but they were allowed to remain human-looking. And so we refer to them as humanoids. All right, and those are the ones that are these the ones that are locked up in Tartarus right now? Yeah, well, these are the ones that are the Anunnaki. Okay, okay. These are the giants. They're 7, 8, 9 foot tall. Right. And these are the Anunnaki. These are the ones that are coming back in the last days. And that, the Bible says men's hearts are going to fail them from signs of the sky. Yeah. When these things return, let alone, the signs in the skies that we have coming waiting for us, when these things return, they're going to be working all over the earth as beasting forces of the Mart. Right. They're the backup armies of the Antichrist. And I don't mean to cut you, Sherry, but you can see so many things that are being put in place right now to bring this whole system into effect. And it's like when you try to talk to people, especially me, I try to talk to people at work or friends, in the neighborhood about what's going on, and they look at you like you're crazy. Oh yeah, they look at you like you're crazy. Yeah, but what's happening with this Homeland Security thing, this new thing that they have down called CERT. I think it's Citizens. I forgot what it's called, but right now there's some sort of Homeland Security thing going on right now where they're training actual citizens for some sort of emergency response. Right. All this is part of this whole thing. This whatever it is when this. And you know why? Because when the nukes start falling and the bombs are falling and everything starts hitting the fan, they're going to be underneath. They're going to be underground. Yeah. They're going to be in their bunkers and their mansions that our tax dollars have built them. Right. And so they need civilians to take control of on top of the surface. Have you noticed that I think both candidates are either in New Mexico or Colorado right now? Isn't that a coincidence? Yeah, I don't know how far-fetched some of these reports are going that I'm hearing that the Russian fleets are moving off the coast of Washington. Right now? Yeah, we've got Russian fleets. It was from the Pravda, from the TASS newspaper. Wow. I was posting it on my list day before yesterday. That the Russian newspaper reporting that their fleets are moving towards America off of Whidbey Island and named some other places off the state of Washington. Oh my goodness. We've always known, we've had reports from the militia down in Arizona that there's thousands and thousands of Chinese about 25 miles off of our border inside the border of Mexico. Oh, I know about that for sure. Yeah. So you know what? I mean, we've got them, and we've got them. There's tunnels through the Bering Strait from Russia. They have dug underneath the ground. Under the sea. Yeah, under the sea. They've been moving troops and equipment for years under the sea through Canada to the United States, so they get to the United States. I've heard that there's up to 200,000 just across the border of Minnesota and Canada of Russians waiting for orders. So why since the beginning of, I guess, not maybe the Nixon administration, or we know that the Clinton administration, the Bush administration, first 1 and 2, are all in cahoots